Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Wednesday, November the 23rd, 2022. Wednesday, November the 23rd. Well, I tell you, I was really smiling when this scene played out. Phyllis comes into Noah's club. Oh, she's so excited. She's like, "Where is he? Where's my boy? Where is he?" And Daniel he's just a little swagger, comes in after her, and she sees Daniel and she lets out the biggest, happiest mother, I see my firstborn son squeal that you could imagine. And she just squeezes him and oh, you know what? The smile on his face, on her face was priceless because look, truly these actors haven't acted together in a number of years. Yes, Daniel did come back, you know, I think twice since he originally exited, but they were in and out. He's here to stay for a minute. And they were acting like he was here to stay for a minute. Now remember, Phyllis was just there visiting Daniel a few months ago. Summer made sure Daniel invited her to get her out of town away from Diane, right? But you could just see the happiness. And it's like Phyllis said, she said, last Thanksgiving, she was alone. My dog getting Flim up. That she was alone last Thanksgiving. But this Thanksgiving, she's so happy. She has family there. Oh my goodness. And I was happy too, because realistically, yes, Summer is there, but Summer has to do the whole Abbott thing, you know. So Phyllis has Daniel and they're talking. She's trying to get caught up. She's like, okay, well, where's Lucy and Heather? And he told her about Heather's gig in Portugal, and they thought it'd be great for Lucy to experience that. And so Phyllis said, okay, good. But what's going on? What's really going on? And he tried to dodge a little bit, but she's like, Daniel. And he goes, look, I know, I can't get anything over on you. So he lets them know they were having some problems, which we knew. I mean, bottom line, we're going to end up with a Daniel Lily hookup. So Heather and Lucy can't be there, right? So I mean, it was just really good for them to talk. And Phyllis now has an anchor because remember, when Amanda was leaving, Phyllis said, I'm all alone. I'm all even though Summer's there, Summer's not there. Summer has to, or Summer, yeah, she does. She has to side with her husband, and not so much side with him, but she must, have some cohesiveness in her family. Absolutely, positively. Because if there's going to be a Diane riff in her marriage, it must be a riff that Diane is causing, that Summer decides this is a riff for me, my husband, and my son Harrison. It can't be I've got a riff in my marriage because my mother doesn't like your mother. See, and I'm so happy they didn't make Summer take those kinds of sides. It's very sensible how she's handling it, but she is having a problem now with Diane. And Diane is starting to try to put a wedge between Kyle and Summer. And that's where the real problems are going to come up. But see, that, like I said, now Summer will be saying, okay, oh, you trying to break up my house? You trying to see who's more important to Kyle, me or you? Well, now it's got to be on. See, that's a different story. So, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Unfortunately, Diane will win to an extent because that is Kyle's mother. But where she won't ultimately win is Diane is a liar. And a lot of things are going to start to come out, even trouble to the house, even though she's going to blame the trouble coming on everybody else caused this trouble. No, that was Ashley telling Jeremy Stark. Well, Jeremy Stark was getting out of jail anyway before Ashley knew about him. And guess what? Jeremy Stark was going to find Diane whether Ashley, Phyllis, or Nikki said anything, or Tucker. But the wild card is going to be Tucker. Tucker's just going to say, here's the breadcrumbs. Man, forget breadcrumbs. Look, I'm going to have a limo bring you to the table. So, it's inevitable. But anyway, I was happy to see that they have somebody for Phyllis. That was really, really cool. And then we also had Thanksgiving is starting to gather at the Abbott house. Jack is all happy, and oh, everybody's so happy. Everybody's together. Allie's there, and blah, blah, blah. Doorbell rings. Ashley looks at Tracy. Tracy looks at Ashley. And Diane comes walking through the door. I think Jack opens the door, see, because she rings the bell this time versus just bursting in, right? And Ashley looks at her and looks at Jack, looks at Tracy, and Tracy's like, oh boy. But Ashley plays nice because Jack says, I want to make this a great Thanksgiving for Harrison. Really, Jack, for Harrison. But in this incident, okay, I could see it in this incident because this is Thanksgiving. This is the first one for Harrison with the Abbott family. He does love his Dee Dee. So everybody could suck it up and play nice at the dinner table. Okay, I could see that. But you know what I don't see, everybody? Summer is, for all intensive purposes, Harrison's mother. Yes, it's a stepmother, but she's truly stepping into the role of his mother. Well, Summer has a mother too. So why is it Summer introducing Phyllis to Harrison? Yes, they've seen each other, but they haven't been introduced. Summer hasn't said, Harrison, this is my mom. This is your, Grandma Nini, Grandma Phyllis, or G Phyllis, or whatever you're going to call Phyllis, whatever Phyllis wants her grandkids to call him. Phyllis has never been allowed an opportunity to have any kind of relationship with Harrison, and I don't understand why. Because Phyllis is Summer's mother. So if you then start, because Phyllis is accepting of Harrison, she would be, she would not accept Harrison. So anyway, that's just something they've decided not to do, but they need to do. Because Phyllis is actually, she's not a kid person, but kids like her because she loves playing video games. Little Christian, Nick's son, liked Phyllis, So anyway, that was just interesting to me, is how they're not allowing any kind of bond with Phyllis and little Harrison. And that could be something that Summer and Phyllis could share some time together with Harrison, Phyllis, and Summer, building that little bond. So, because look, if Summer has a baby, that'll be Phyllis's grandchild too. And that's going to be the only kid of Summer's that Phyllis pays attention to, is just her grandchild? Her actual natural flesh and blood? No, they're a whole family. And they should all treat, just like Jack treats Summer even before she married Kyle. Because look, he thought it was his daughter. Actually should have been his daughter, because Phyllis was with him when she got pregnant by Nick. But they all know how to accept extended family. They really do. So then we also had Society. Devon shows up and Abby's like, I'm just happy to have a friendly face here. I'm happy you're here. Because he goes, is anything any better with you and Chance? She's like, no. But I'm happy that you're here, friendly face. So he goes, yeah, he's meeting Tucker for an early dinner because they knew the restaurant would be busy later, so that, they wanted to beat the crowd. So she gives them a table, they sit down, and then Nate and Elena show up. And Abby's getting ready to walk them into the main dining room, and they see Tucker and Devon. And Elena's like, you know what? Maybe we should go somewhere else, Nate. And he's like, no, this is your favorite restaurant. Here is fine. I'm not about to leave just because my cousin and Tucker are here. Matter of fact, Nate makes a beeline over to the table and says, hello, Devon and Tucker, happy Thanksgiving, or to some greeting. And Devon's not, no, well, it was, or something Devon said instead of just hello and leaving it at that, right? Then Tucker has to jump down Nate's throat. I'm surprised you have the nerve to come over here after the gall of what you tried to do to your family. It's unforgivable. And Devon will never forgive you for what. I'm thinking, what, huh? Tucker, thy speaks with a silver forked tongue, Tucker. You're doing the same thing that Nate tried to do. And the funny thing is you see how Devon took it, right? What makes Tucker think that Devon is going to feel better towards him when he hates Nate? And truth be told, Devon knows Nate and is closer to Nate than he ever was with Tucker. Was or is now. So Tucker, how he better be abandoning his plan, because you want to know what Devon is going to do once he finds out what Tucker done or plan to do, gonna do. Devon is going to say, you had the nerve at society on Thanksgiving Day to pretend to stand up for me, even though I didn't ask you to, against Nate. And look at what you were planning all along. And I asked you when you first got to town, was that what you're planning? And you said no. So yeah. So then Nate's like, well, whatever. Like, I tried. And he goes back to Elena and they go sit at their table. And Elena was like, you know what? That was out of line for Tucker to say the things that he said to you. See, the problem is you and Devon have the issue, not Tucker. She says, I think that was wrong. And she was just daggering over there at Tucker, and no, that was not right. And he goes, Elena, look, just please don't even think about it, because I know I'm not. Let's just have a great dinner. And excuse me. So Devon tells Tucker, Tucker, thank you for speaking up for me, but I got the hiccups now. Now that's going to look really crazy throughout the video. Let's hope I can swallow and get them down. So he goes, but I could take care of myself. I didn't need you to do that. Like I'm a big boy. I'm a grown man, Tucker. I don't need daddy. He goes, well, you're right. I just couldn't help myself. And I'm like, oh, shut up, Tucker. Get out of here. So needless to say, Ashley ends up coming into society looking for Abby because she just had to get out of the house, and she was asking, is Abby here? Is Abby here? And who came up to talk to her? That's a shame that I cannot remember. Look, I've been preparing, getting food prepped for a bunch of cooking, but I can't remember who Ashley was talking to at society. Huh. If anybody remembers, because she said I had to suffer through a meal with Diane, because I know it wasn't Tucker. Maybe it was Tucker. Maybe Tucker saw her and walked over to her. Maybe that's who it was, because there was not a whole lot of people in the restaurant. at all, So that was that. But the main event was, how every Thanksgiving, Crimson Lights does a real community outreach, feeding the less fortunate people. And this year's no different. So New Hope was providing the food. And they said, it's all coming from the Ray Foundation. And so Sharon said, you know what? Ashlyn Locke's donation is doing a lot of good for the community. She goes, hey, no matter what we say about the man, this is going to benefit a lot of people today. And Nick was like, yeah, and we are happy to provide it. So, of course, no Christian, because he's making gifts at home. Okay, Nick, you never do nothing with Christian. So we have Victoria and Johnny show up. They're going to volunteer. And I think that was the first time I've ever seen Victoria volunteer. And little Katie wanted to go to the ranch to help cook. Okay, Katie. Katie's gonna be Chef Katie. She's gonna open up a little restaurant and be Abby's competition, right? Or years from now, be the head chef of society. So she brought Johnny, and then we have Lily and Billy show up. But Mariah and Tessa were already there, helping Sharon with the cute little aprons. And unfortunately, the birth mother of the one that was really interested in them, a family member stepped up and wanted to adopt the baby, her cousin. And she emailed them and told them that if it wasn't for family stepping up, definitely Mariah and Tessa was her choice, right? So they felt better. They were bad, felt sad, but they knew that could happen. But they felt better because people see value in them as a couple and as potential parents. So that was a good takeaway, because from the other attorney, everything was, no, you're not qualified. Oh no, you'll really never get to adopt a child. So they felt better about that. But guess what, everybody? You know what that also does to my theory? Oh, Audra's baby is not. She didn't have a miscarriage. And probably whoever's taking care of that baby, something's going to happen to her, maybe Audra's mother, whoever has the child. Somehow Audra is going to end up now with possession of her child, and or her ploys to get Noah. She might say, I told you our baby died because I just wanted to see if you cared about me before I tell you your child's alive, because I wouldn't want to bring our child in a situation where you don't like me. Well, after that lie you told me made me grieve a child that's not even dead, that doesn't bestow goodwill. Now, we don't even know if the story is going to go that way, but I'm just saying, come on now. Either way, I believe that child is still alive. And I think ultimately that is going to be the baby that Mariah and Tessa adopt, because that baby is blood to Mariah. That baby is her brother's child. So, because Noah's not going to be in the headspace to take care of it alone. Noah will be allowed to be in the baby's life, to be a father in the relationship. It's mother, and father, right? So that's a win-win for everybody. And Noah is still allowed to be his Rolling Stone, because let's face it, Noah, by this time next year, I think he'll be out of Genoa City. He never stays for long. His character is never here for a long period of time. So then we have Chelsea and Johnny come down from their apartment because they want to volunteer. They're not having dinner till later. And Billy sees it. Welcome, Chelsea. Welcome, and Lily sees her. And Billy is talking to Victoria. And well, first everybody's getting their work assignments, right? And so she tells Lily and Billy to check with Victoria to see what Victoria needs them to help with. And then she says, you know what, boys, for Christian and Johnny, she says, can you put these decorations, as a box of decorations, can you decorate the patio? So they said, sure. So actually, no, Connor is already out with the box. And Chelsea says, Johnny, can you help Connor? So yeah, and initially Victoria kind of looks, but then she's thinking, okay, it'll be okay. Because Billy's like, you know, it'll be okay. So she doesn't really say anything, right? So the boys go outside, you know, and they're working. But what I love, they are making Connor so mature. He's like, listen, Johnny, I need to talk to you about something. Okay. I need you not to say mean things to my mom today. You know? And he goes, because there's, you know, and he's almost like there's been an incident. Mom got very depressed. Johnny didn't, Connor didn't tell him the whole story, but he goes, she had to go to the hospital for a few days. And Johnny's like, I hope it's not nothing that I said, because I did treat her really, really badly. And he goes, I just was upset, you know, with it. He goes, no, I was upset too. And no, she assured me that it wasn't anything that we did. But I just wanted you to know that don't be mean to her today. It's a good little son. I mean, that he's trying to pave the way. And Johnny, I'm glad they're not making him a jerk face Newman. But you know, in reality, Nick as a boy was not a jerk face Newman. You know, none of the Newman kids were jerk face kids. They really weren't. You know, they get sent away to boarding school and they age them up, and when they bring them back, they could be a little trouble. You know, even Noah was cool until what did they send Noah away? Because yeah, we did get a big age up. Yeah, Noah went to boarding school, came back as a little trouble teen, you know, so that's how they do. But then what you expect? And hey, if you're a Y&R daily recap fan and you send your kids to boarding school, I'm not saying there's anything wrong about that. Okay. I'm just my opinion. Like Johnny and Katie last year were in boarding school for how Katie was 4 and 5. Now, but they just aged Johnny up when he came back. But here's the deal: that impressionable, that young, to be that far away from their parents, you don't know what a stranger is instilling in your child, and or just an institution that you're sending them to is instilling in your child. You know, doesn't all the time instill warm and fuzzy, you know, human compassion. So anyway, enough said about that. So, but Johnny, they're having him to be a very thoughtful young man, and I like that. He and Connor, I can see them as teenagers raising a little Cain in high school, right? Sticking together and getting the job done. Wow. So Johnny comes back in and he says, listen, and Billy is still sitting with Victoria. Lily is talking to Chelsea at the booth, you know, and just saying that, you know, she is offering her support to Chelsea and just kind of being comforting. And Chelsea is saying, thank you so much, because I know a lot of attention has been, or, you know, I've required a lot of Billy's attention, and I really don't want to cause a rift. And so they're having an amicable conversation, right? And so then Johnny comes in and says, listen, Connor told me that my dog is trying to clear from again. There we go. It's out now, or up now. Anyway, he goes, Connor told me what happened to Chelsea, how she got really depressed and had to go to the hospital for a few days. I want to just go over and talk to her, you know, just to let her know I'm not mad at her anymore. You know, is that okay? And Billy's like, well, yeah, it's okay with me. And Victoria's kind of looking up like, wait, what? Huh? Huh? You know? And so she goes, but if that's what you want to do, Johnny, sure. I mean, That's your choice, right? So he goes over to the booth where Billy and Lily and Chelsea are talking, and he goes, "Excuse me, can I talk to Chelsea for a moment?" And Lily goes, "Well, of course, sure, absolutely." She gets up and he sits down, and Victoria's looking at Billy, and she goes, "Why is this? Why is it that I'm hearing about Chelsea depressed, going to a hospital? Why am I hearing about this from from Johnny, and not from you?" And he said, "Well, because for one, it wasn't my story to tell everybody, people." He says, "And for two, Connor just found out, and Adam just found out where Chelsea was just yesterday, you know? So, it's just fresh, Victoria." And she goes, "I just wished I would have had a heads up." And he goes, "Look, Johnny seems to be handling the situation well." And Chelsea, now that they're having her more calm, she's, talking to him. He goes, "I just want you to know that Connor told me, and I want to apologize for the way I, was treating you after I heard." She goes, "No, no, no need to apologize." And he goes, but anyway, it was a great little conversation between the two of them. And Chelsea says, "No, I just want you to know that I care about you. And I'm so happy that you and Connor are getting along, knowing each other as brothers." She goes, "Ultimately, that's really all I wanted, just so that you knew, where you came from, and that you have an extended family." And so she even touched his hand. I forget what the statement was, because he said something nice to her, and she reached across and said, "Thank you so much. That means a lot to me." Okay. And then little Connor was over at the table where some Mariah or somebody was, or Nick was, and he's looking at Johnny and his mother, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, okay, yeah, that's the way it should." Like, "Okay, mom's okay." It was just so cute. Good little actor. That little Connor actor is really good. I see him doing good things away from daytime. I really do, because he can carry some emotions and deliver some lines. I like that little kid. So anyway, that was that. And Billy's talking to Chelsea. Okay, because Nick says, "Hey, the food's here. Let's, I need some volunteers to help bring in the food." And so Lily says, "I volunteer," and maybe Tessa volunteers. So they go out, right, to help Nick. And Billy says, "Chelsea, okay, so tell me, um, how did the conversation go with Johnny?" And she goes, "Oh, it went really well. He's such a sweet kid," and blah, blah, blah. And so then Billy is saying, "So what plans do you have for Thanksgiving?" She goes, "Oh, Connor and I are having Thanksgiving with Adam. We're going to do some things as a family this evening or later." And he goes, "Well, good." But see, his whole demeanor, I want to just slap Billy. "Okay, well, good, good." It's almost, he didn't say this, but he almost said, "Well, at least Adam is stepping up for that." It's like, what the heck, Billy? He almost got me to say a word I don't say on my recaps. I say the word, but I don't say it on my recaps, right? I'm like, what the heck, Billy? And so he goes, "But listen." And as he's saying this, Lily's coming in with the big tray of food and dinner rolls on top. "Listen, after that, if you want to, if you guys want to, we're going over to Devon's for dessert. And we would love for you and Connor to join us." And Lily looks, because she hears him, and she's thinking, I told him that if Chelsea needs and has nowhere to go, and Adam lets them down, then invite her. You don't try to now make her have second plans. So see, what Billy wants is for Chelsea to be able to cut the evening short with Adam and Connor and say, oh, because we're invited over to Devon's for dessert. See, no, they weren't invited over to Devon's for dessert. Lily was just going to accept if Chelsea did, if she had no one, then let's play it by ear. Oh, see, there is going to be the biggest divide, and they're making it happen fast with Lily and Billy. And I could see it because he is just usurping and just inserting himself in Chelsea's life, trying to exclude Adam from her life because he thinks he has some kind of right, some kind of say so. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was crazy to me. And I thought, Lily, let him have it. You need to let him have it behind that, right? So now let's go to comment corner, comment corner. And if I don't say it because I'm not saying it enough, everybody, please subscribe to this channel. I'm supposed to say it at the beginning, but I forget because I just want to dive right into the recap. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please tell your friends about this YouTube channel so we can grow our subscribers on the channel. But let's go to comment corner, We have Patricia says, thank you for a great review. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Yes, yes, yes. Everybody have a safe and happy Turkey Day. I want to see Adam strong and ruthless again, not begging Sally. I know. See, once he stops begging Sally, you want to know what Sally's going to do? Adam? You know, once he is at a place where Sally's at, and he just looks at her and says, Sally, and keeps it stepping, you want to know what Sally's going to do? Who's he sitting down at the table with? Who's that? Yeah, see? But all this chasing is what she wants. You had a line, Adam. No, get out of here. Stop it. They need to change that up. And then it says he needs another love interest. Thank you. Oh, wait, like you, I thought the drunk Adam was going to attack Sally at first. Spoiler said that Victor Newman will not like his son fighting over Sally, and he will take some kind of action. Of course, Victor will. And then Patricia says she loved how cool Tucker was when he was talking to Jack. And then Dito says Ryder, which was Daisy's brother, twin brother. Ryder was hot. Daisy and Ryder's father was Terrible Tom. They were half brother and sister to Kevin. Daniel is married to Heather. Her parents are April Stevens and Paul Williams. See, I forgot about all that, man. April Stevens had a twin sister that was put up for adoption. Her name was Barbara. Wow. Thank you so much, Dito. See, that's what I love about the recap. We get some history thrown in here. And like now we're getting like a backstory on who Heather was and all of that great stuff, or who Heather is. And then Patricia says, I agree. The blonde actor that played Ryder, Kevin's half brother, was hot. He later appeared in a primetime court drama. He was let go because they thought he played the part too seriously. Well, that's about the Sad Sack Noah. Oh, well, what about Sad Sack Noah? I hate they got rid of Ryder. Well, you know what? They may not bring the same guy back, but maybe that Ryder can. You know, it's interesting. Folks that have gone away and then come back later, they usually end up recycling characters if they want to. But I guess realistically, Kevin ain't even on the soap anymore, so we don't need to bring back his half brother, right? So anyway, everybody, thank you for Comment Corner. Be safe on this holiday, and I don't know, I think we may be back Monday, because at the end of Young and the Restless, it said next week on The Young and the Restless. So if not, I will see you Monday. Be safe out there.